Item 10C, adopt a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a construction contract for the Crestmoor Neighborhood Reconstruction Crestmoor Canyon Retaining Wall with 10c Construction, Inc. in the amount of $31,900 and approving a construction budget of $35,000.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. I'm Harry Burrows, and I'm the city's project manager for the Crestmoor Reconstruction Project. The item before you tonight is to replace an existing retaining wall within Crestmoor Canyon at the end of Concord Way behind two residences located at 1480 and 1490 Claremont Drive. The overall reconstruction project, as previously approved by the City Council, includes erosion control and slope stabilization of the canyon. The existing wall was built as part of a slope reconstruction project in the 1980s after a failure of that portion of the slope due to a storm drain overflow that took out a large amount of material down into the creek within the canyon. The existing wall is made of wood, it's deteriorating, and it's at the end of its expected useful life. Replacement of the wall is currently included in the Phase 4 street improvement project that was recently awarded to Granite Rock Construction Company. However, the Phase 4 project is not expected to start construction until mid to late September, and it's desired to complete the wall construction prior to the start of the rainy season on or about October 15th. So in order to complete the work by the 15th of October, staff sought bids from contractors who could meet this schedule. 3 bids were received. The lowest bid was from 10c Construction Company, and it was about $10,000 below the price that was included in the Phase 4 contract. So staff recommends proceeding with the contract with 10c Construction and eliminating the work from the Phase 4 contract with Granite Rock.
Good. Any questions for Harry?
Through the chair.
Rico?
I agree with the project. I'm glad that it's $10,000 cheaper. My only question is whether this should actually be funds taken out of the trust or should be taken out of capital reserves. I'm having, on that respect, as far as the $50 million being for that project, because obviously, as you indicated, Mr. Burrows, it was not in relation to the explosion. That's my way I heard you say it.
So as the council is aware, the rebuild of the Crestmoor neighborhood has included a variety of projects that have do not have a direct relationship to the explosion or damage created by the explosion itself, but are otherwise necessary to put the neighborhood back together. Staff believes it can be considered an allowable expense. That's obviously subject to the discretion of the trustee. We don't actually make those decisions directly, but it's really at the discretion of the City Council. If you prefer not to fund it in this manner, the alternative that staff would recommend would be the capital reserve.
That was my only comment and statement, is I think it should come out of capital reserves and not out of the trust. But I am in concurrence with the project.
Okay. Marty?
Just a couple questions, Harry. So I recall when I was working here as a public works inspector going in that backyard, and that was before the explosion. About that, this is an ongoing issue, and do we have a record of it was originally installed by the city, and it had a life of 25 years, and it's 27 years later. So it's, in my opinion, my feeling is that the city's responsible for it, but I don't think it should come out of the rebuild fund. That's just how I feel, my gut reaction on it, and I think we should do it. And I think you did a great job getting a good price and resolving a long term problem for the two residents there that are there along that slope that is above our property, and the city property. We're responsible for maintaining that slope. So I'm looking forward to, or in favor of, the project being completed, just not through the trust funds.
Okay. Anyone else? Action? Irene?
I'd like to introduce the resolution as it stands, I don't understand the logic of not paying it through the trust fund. And as the city manager said, we actually don't make those decisions anyway. Ultimately, they go through the trustee. But we've authorized, and nobody has said anything before, we've authorized repaving, sewer laterals that were not, and we're paying for sewer laterals for everybody in the neighborhood that were not destroyed by the explosion. We're repaving at the streets that were not affected. We're redoing sidewalks. We did, what was the other thing that we did? I can't remember the rest of them, but much of it was never touched by the explosion, and much of it has always been the city's responsibility. So I don't understand the logic. But anyway, I will introduce the resolution as it stands.
Councilmember O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Rico Medina.
No.
Councilmember Ibera.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Marty Medina.
No.
Mayor Ruane.
Aye. Okay, item 10D.
And for the record, again, I want to make it very clear, I believe the project should go forward. I know the city clerk has it. It's about where the funds were coming from, nothing more.
On the record.